finally you have another successful business. For everybody that doesn't know, you have another successful business that does great. This is where you've chosen to put your passion. These are your proverbial, these are your passion chips going to the center. Yeah. I envy that jump to just say, okay, we're taking a dive into this thing. It's got to be fun, man.
Yeah, it's a combination of adrenaline and terror.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly.
Yeah.
No, and the passion part of it, because it is something I vehement. I mean, it's every part of my being knows this is a better way than alcohol. Mm-hmm. And I quit drinking in 2023. Without going into too many details, I mean, alcohol almost destroyed my family. And again, without going into the details there. So it's just, but in 2023, I knew for years, I've been like, man, I got to stop. But I'm a Wisconsinite. I grew up Southern Wisconsin. You start drinking at 14, right? And day drinking. Now, I know the newer generations have grown up more smart than we grew up in the way we handled business. But
the way we handled business,
it was to self-medicate, right? Yeah. I mean, it was, and I mean that was a way of life. Day drinking is a way of life, But I do enjoy. But it's not all bad, right? I mean, the idea of just being able to grab a couple cases and go be on a boat, or go be on a beach, or go be on a golf course, and just hang out or watch sports all day, and just be kicking them back and hanging out, and it's just, again, I think part of like what makes, going to Lambeau Field so special, and like, other teams come in here like, what are you guys, you're so nice to us. Like, why, hey man, we're just, really the true heart of it is just, hey, we're all in this life together. Let's have some fun. Let's kick back. Let's relax. Let's drink some beers, and we're going to be good, and I love that. And so when I quit drinking, one, I hate being a sober guy around everyone else who's drunk. No, I don't think anyone likes that.
Yeah, drunk people are annoying.
They are so annoying. I was one of the most annoying. And I was like, I gotta have something else that allows me to socialize, and to still day drink and hang out and have, I don't want to lose that aspect, but I can't do alcohol anymore. I cannot. I am done, hard done with alcohol. And I just turned 50, and as we get older, we don't metabolize alcohol. It's harder, as we all know, the hangovers. You just don't bounce back like you did when you're 20, 21, 18. And so marijuana has always, I didn't do marijuana in high school. I was in the military for 15 years, never did marijuana then. Got out of the military, tried it for the first couple times, hated all of my experiences. I hate being stoned. I've only had maybe like one positive or two positive stoned experiences that I really could say, okay, I kind of enjoyed that. And I was in my experimentation phase, I was trying to roll a joint, and it took me an hour, and this sad, pathetic excuse for whatever.
It's a hard thing to do.
It was terrible. I got like one little hit, tiny little hit off it. But it gave me this really mellow buzz. And at this point, I was at the point where I was like, I'm done with marijuana. This is my last kind of attempt to play with it. And this is many years ago. This is before I stopped drinking. And I got this gentle, mellow buzz. And I was so, I was like, oh, I feel calm. I kind of feel happy. I'm like, okay, now if this is marijuana, I can get on board with this. But how do I do this? Because I've done it many times, and I've only experienced it this one little time. And so, but that thought was always in the back of my mind. Like, I wonder how I could replicate that. And then, fast forward to, now gummies, now things are more legal. There's gummies out there now that it wasn't as big a deal back when I was first experimenting. So then I started saying, okay, I'm not drinking anymore. There were some gummies that if I broke it in half, it was a 5 milligram gummy. If I cut it in half, okay, maybe I'm okay. So then I started melting them down and making beverages, and I started doing microdosing. At the time, I didn't know what that was.
Which is a hilarious thing to start doing. I think it's so cool. Like, I'm just going to cut this in half, melt it down, put it in a drink.
And really, it started, truly, September of 23. So I quit drinking in September, officially stopped, drinking alcohol in September of 23. At that time, we're going to a Packer game. I was taking my team to a Packer game. And everyone likes to drink and day drink, and it was a Thursday night football game against the Lions, which did not have the result we had last night, which was a brutal game, unfortunately. But I had brought all these growlers I had made of my own, and it was 2 milligrams per 12 ounces drink. And I drank that all 3 days. That's all I drank. We'd be up at 10 in the morning. They would be, starting with Bloody Marys, just like I always used to, and then go into whatever, day drinking, lane they're going to choose. And I'm just drinking my 2 milligram drinks. And I got to a slightly buzzed, slightly high state. And I just leveled off. I could drink till 3 in the morning and I would be about the same place. I was not sober, but I also was totally in control. I remember everything. And I wake up in the morning. I was the last man standing. I wake up in the morning. I have no hangover. I'm like, I'm not dehydrated. Maybe there's something here. And based on what alcohol had done to my family, what it was doing to me physically, I was like, this is really not healthy. This is really, I think the veil is really starting to come off alcohol a lot more. It is, it's really nasty, like what it does to humans and how it really kicks down the door of your body. Like it is not playing with your system nicely in any form or fashion. It is just kicking the freaking door down and is doing whatever the hell it wants. And you were starting to realize, and I didn't realize how toxic, and it doesn't last very long, but when the body processes alcohol, it creates some really toxic, a very, very toxic element. And it doesn't last very long in the system. It converts to something else, but it's a very strong carcinogen. And so it's like, and you start realizing how bad this is. And now, the body actually has an endocannabinoid system. Your body produces cannabinoids. It has receptors designed to receive cannabinoids. This is coming out of a plant. Our body produces it. And it's like, maybe this is a gentler substance, maybe a healthier substance. And we're finding out so many different medical benefits. I have a son who's has very high special needs. He has seizures. Epilepsy is one of his conditions. He's a genetic disorder, and they're never going to fix him. He has these seizures, and we couldn't control him until we did medical marijuana. Then we were able to get him under control. Pharma, he still does some pharma stuff, but at the end of the day, even with maxed out pharma, we were not controlling his seizures. But we started doing medical marijuana, and we started to get some control of his seizures. There's something there. And we're starting to realize there's a lot of really powerful attributes, and we don't understand. This plant is so complex. And that's where the microdosing, so that's where the whole idea of this company came about, was from that experience. I'm like, gosh, how much better would the world be? I just think about almost every of my major regrets in my life revolve around me being drunk. I drank too much alcohol. Almost every single one of my biggest life regrets revolves around that. Like, now you think about the drunk driving, you think about all the fights at sporting events, or, all these, because you get drunk and how people get, and you think about the decisions, like it's a completely different experience when you're doing THC. And especially at the microdose level, because again, you're always in control. You're not stoned. You're not, whoa, where am I? You're paranoid. Well, with this stuff, that doesn't exist because the body's processing it so quickly with the emulsion we're using. And you just stay. You can pick the high that you want, and you can just stay there for hour and hour and hour on end. You stop drinking an hour and a half to, depending on how long you've been drinking, in a couple hours, you don't feel it anymore. You're back to normal. And that's what I love about it. There's no hangover. That's one of the many things I love about it. But the world would be such a healthier place if today everyone stopped drinking alcohol, but they still wanted to drink. They stopped drinking alcohol and they just started drinking products like this. The world undoubtedly would be a better place.
I 100% agree, right? And that's not even getting into, like, that is literally just alcohol versus a THC
Correct.
beverage. That's not even talking about vitamins, no calories,
right?
The other things,
the electrolytes that we put in here.
The electrolytes, yeah.
So we're trying to replenish the system, trying to build the system up as we're enjoying socially.
Right. Instead of creating a poison and dumping
that's leaching your system of nutrients and vitamins and everything else.
Exactly.
We're trying to pump them back into you.
Yeah.